Well, hey YouTube, figured it was about time to bring you all an update on the 2012 Jag XF, since I haven't done one and I don't even know how long. Maybe since this summer, at the very latest. I'm not really sure. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how many miles the car has. 17,899. So we will roll 17.9 on the drive. And we've had the car since, let's see, when did we get the car? November of 2012, and it is now January of 2015. That feels weird to say. So we've had the car just over 2 years and haven't even done 24,000 miles. So I don't think we'll have any problem with the lease mileage running out. We have 10,000 a year for a 4-year lease. So that'll be good, that we don't have to worry about that. As far as the car goes, it's just been a joy. Like, I don't even have words to describe how much I love this car. It's been so much fun. It's just always a blast to drive. The engine's fantastic. The transmission is great. Especially when you put it into manual mode, it just bangs off the gears. So it's a really, really fun car to have, a really fun car to drive. Never really thought we would look at a Jaguar, but it just sort of happened. For any of you new subscribers, the story on this car is April of 2012, we had actually bought a 2011 Infiniti QX56. It was black. I think I made like 1 or 2 videos on that car. We didn't have it very long, obviously. God, that's fun. That was about quarter throttle right there. Just so much fun. But anyways, we had a 2011 Infiniti QX56, and this was all around the time that I was looking for new cars for myself, trying to figure out what I wanted. So we took a look at cars for me, and then my mom and I have always kind of had a car crush on the Maserati Quattroporte. So I saw a dealership up there. It was Park Place Luxury Collection in Dallas on Lemon Avenue. For those of you who know the Dallas area, you know Lemon Avenue is the place to be for ritzy cars. And saw the Quattroporte, absolutely loved it, but it was obviously a lot of money, well over 100 grand. But it was really nice, sounded fantastic, loved the Maserati V8 noise. And then the guy was like, well, why don't you take a look at an XJ if you're interested in a car like the Quattroporte. So we took a look at it and really, really liked the inside. I absolutely loved the inside of the XJ. But the outside was a little too, I guess, frou-frou. I don't really know what the word would be to describe that car. But it just wasn't our first preference. So I said, you know, Mom, why don't you look at the XF? I think that might be more your style. So we did. She fell in love with this one. They worked us a pretty good deal on it, so we traded the Infiniti and leased this. And now we have this until November of 2016, or whenever we decide to get rid of it. You can actually get out of a Jaguar lease early, but you have to pay like a penalty depending on how much time you have left in the lease and blah, blah, blah. So it's not all that exciting there. But that's the backstory on how we got this car. It was a really exciting car to get, because we knew we wanted a car that sounded good. We've always had a thing for cars that sound nice, had the 2011 Yukon Denali, and of course those sound really nice. And then she got into the QX56. It didn't really sound all that great. It sounded kind of diesel-like, honestly. But that was the direct injection. That's what they do. And we weren't really wanting to get rid of the Infiniti at all. Like, we really liked the car. This was just kind of one of those spur of the moment, like, oh, well, that just happened type things. Which I'm not complaining about, really. It wasn't too much of a financial hit, plus we got a freaking Jaguar out of the deal, so not really complaining. The car, ever since we've had it, has only had one issue, and that is it was like 2 or 3 weeks after we got the car. Mom had just pulled in the garage, and the car locked itself up in drive and could not rotate the shifter out of drive. We were on the phone with the dealership. They said, disconnect this, disconnect that, try this, try that. We tried everything. So they basically walked us through things to do. We did it all, it didn't work. The car was still stuck in drive, so the car was stuck. And by this time, we'd obviously turned the engine off, maybe thinking the car would kind of figure itself out or straighten up, I don't know. But it never did. So the dealership was kind enough to flatbed us down a 2012 XF Supercharged. For those of you who have been around for a while, you'll probably remember my videos on that. It was a monster of a car. I won't say what kind of speeds I did in it, but it was big numbers. And it didn't take long to get there either. And the sound of it, my word, man, that car sounded good. But that's really been the only main issue we've had with the car. We've had other like little complaints with it, like the head unit up here is absolutely terrible, slowest thing in the world, hate it, not a fan at all. But that's not really why you buy a Jaguar, is it? You buy it so you can go fast. So that hasn't been that much of an ordeal. The car doesn't get driven to where we use the head unit a whole lot. Like, we drive it around town all the time, but not really on long trips. It's been to Arkansas once or twice, Dallas a few times, and that's it, I believe. So it doesn't get driven a whole lot, but it's a really, really fun car to drive. Going down these twisty roads, even in the rain, it's still an enjoyable experience. You don't even have to be going fast to have this car put a smile on your face. It just makes you smile. So I really, really, really like this car. I'll be sad to see it go, honestly. I'll talk about replacements for it in a little while, things we've considered and stuff. But another issue we've had with it that hasn't really been an issue, just a little complaint. In the summertime, when there will be any kind of like chassis flex or anything going on, the door panels will creak on it. It just sounds, they kind of pop and creak. So that's slightly less than satisfactory. We've asked the dealership about it, but figure that if they start trying to diagnose it, they're going to tear things apart, and then more rattles will happen, and it just won't be worth it. God, that's fun. So we just decided that probably wouldn't be worth the effort or the time to take it up to Dallas and all that stuff. It's had regular maintenance. And speaking of maintenance, going back to why we got this car, we did get 4 years, all maintenance included except tires. So that's anything from light bulbs, wiper blades, oil changes, whatever. 4 years maintenance free. We got that on this car, so that was a big playing factor in why we got it. Because the Infiniti was out of warranty. It had right at 36,000 miles on it when we got rid of it, I believe. So we would have been stuck with all repairs on it, and not that Japanese cars break all that often, but in the odd occasion that it did, being stuck with that wasn't really what my dad wanted to do, I don't think. So, yeah. But it's just had regular maintenance done. The tires are holding up okay. They're the worst tires known to man. They're the Continental Conti Pro Contact tires. Absolutely loathe these tires. Like, I don't have words to describe how much I hate them. They're the tires that came on the Fusion from factory. They lasted 16,300 miles and they were done. This car doesn't get driven quite as hard as my Fusion. Plus, it's rear-wheel drive, so it balances out the tread wear better than a front-wheel drive car does. So, these tires probably, I don't know if we'll have to put new ones on it or not. Performance-wise, yeah, I really want new tires on it, but financial-wise, I don't think that we really need to put new tires on it. They do okay in the rain, they do okay on dry pavement, but when you go near the throttle, the rear end really likes to skip around and make sure you're paying attention, so that's just lots of fun. So the tires are the only performance complaint. The engine is wonderful. 385 horsepower, 380 pound-feet of torque, naturally aspirated 5-liter V8. Like, how much better does it get? Except for the supercharged, that gets better. Replacements for the car, we've talked about an F-Type. Not really sure. Mom and I are fine with the V6, but Dad's like, no, if you have a Jag, it needs a V8, which I totally understand the appeal, but the V8's a lot more expensive and really likes to get out from under you. And we don't really need any of that happening. So we've also talked about, yet again, the 2012 or older Quattroporte. We just really love that car for some reason. Maserati Gran Turismo, we've talked about that because those are dirt cheap nowadays. Both the Maseratis are now. Maintenance on them is the only thing that I'm a little hesitant on. But yeah, we've talked about leasing an F-Type. Dad's talked about the XFR a lot, so he really likes that car. The XE, the Jag XE, which isn't out yet, that name has been thrown around a couple times. I don't really see Mom going back into an SUV. She likes the luxury sports cars, so that's good, I guess. Means I get to drive them, so oh well. But those are really the only things we've talked about. Maybe Porsche Panamera. Not really hot on the Panamera though. It's kind of ugly from the back end. But it is unique, and I appreciate its uniqueness. But those are really the only things we've thrown around for it. Are you kidding me? That was the most stupid thing you could have possibly done. Wow, somebody needs to screw your brain back in. But we talked about F-Type V6 is what I'm kind of pulling for because I just love the V6 sound on them. And coming from someone who is absolutely head over heels in love with V8 noises, that's saying something, but those just sound absolutely fantastic. I love them. This sounds nice too, though. Especially when you really get down on it, but I don't ever put my foot to the floor in the rain because bad things happen. Speaking of bad things happening, the car has gotten a couple of really nice door dings. We've had one of them fixed and one of them is filled with touch-up paint. One of them we got fixed on the other person's insurance. The other one we have no idea where it came from, no idea who did it. So it's just filled with touch-up paint. The one that got fixed was right below the driver's mirror, and the one that is not fixed is back on the passenger side back fender. So that's just fantastic. Really hate whoever did that. That's just not cool. Another slight complaint with the car, the headlights really don't aim far up enough if they're not on high beam, but it's factory HIDs, and factory HIDs have to aim down now because of DOT regulation stuff. So, whatever, that really hasn't been that big of an issue. They're plenty bright, so that kind of helps make up for it. But anyways, I guess that's really pretty much it on the car. Of course, if you have any questions on it, if you want to see anything on it, Leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get those taken care of for you. But anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed this very long video, but it was an overdue video, so I figured you might appreciate the length or understand the length, I don't know. But anyways, like I said, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.